Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to take an up close and personal look at the LG Velvet. Now, some of you may be wondering what's so special about the Velvet, and I wanted to take a minute to talk about this because it's not just about the processor, it's not just about the screen. There's a lot that goes into this phone that really makes it special because it's got a unique identity, and I think kind of a blast from the past here, finally getting back to basics when it comes to things like naming. Because of course, who wants to keep saying the LG V60 ThinQ 5G or the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G when you can just say the Velvet? So before we get into this, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the Velvet. Alright, so I'm going to pull one of those now you see me, now you don't things like the Magic Man on Talladega Nights. So, talking about this phone, I've been waiting for it to come out for quite a while because I think it's very interesting, I think it's unique, and I like the direction that LG's heading in. With the Velvet, it starts their new device strategy where they're going to make phones that actually have real names and not just creating these fancy monikers that have 5 different words in them that describe features or enhancements or hyperbole. So, no more Ultra, no more saying 5G, no more of that crazy stuff. We simply have the Velvet. Now, this phone I think is really interesting because it looks sleek, it looks sexy, it's got this this raindrop design on the back that kind of emulates nature. You don't have these big gigantic cameras on the back that look like slabs and blocks and all sorts of things. It's not industrial, it's very, very elegant, it's sleek, and it's minimalistic. And I really like the way that they did it. It looks kind of like a Note 10 to me. It doesn't have quite the boxy edges on it, which are a little bit more rounded, but you can see nice little subtle antenna bands on there. You can see where it's rounded off when you get to the edges. It's very ergonomic. It feels very light in the hand. It's just under 200 grams, which means it weighs less than half a pound. It's not one of those ones that you can worry about holding in your hand and getting a lot of fatigue, which you get with like the S20 Ultra, you get with phones like the iPhone 11 Pro Max and things like that. It starts to hurt your hand after a while. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You just have to worry about enjoying it. And it's a sharp looking phone. What I like about this is not only is it good looking, but it also has a great price point, $599. You're not going to see that out of a lot of phones this year. Now, what they've done here is I believe they've created a premium flagship mid-tier device, and I kind of like it because a lot of people have been talking about, oh, it's not a flagship phone. Well, yeah, I mean, it is a flagship phone and basically by definition because it's the best phone arguably that they put out for this year in this new series line. So talking about the V60, yes, that's probably going to be the last V-series phone that we see. So we're on this new device path now with real phones with real names. And I can remember this phone takes me back to when phones looked really cool and they looked sexy, they looked elegant. You could walk in, you're like, man, I want that phone. Back before we were in the land of talking about specs all the time. It kind of started a long time ago with the Razr. The Razr started something special. Motorola made an iconic device. Then you got that followed up by like the BlackBerry Pearl, the BlackBerry Bold. Then you got the very first iPhone. There are a lot of phones that are in these Android, iPhone, different worlds that we've been using for the last 20 years, but they don't stand out anymore. You look at the Samsung, and every Samsung looks the same. They just changed the camera bump on the back to bigger and bigger. You look at the iPhone, and it's kind of stays the same year over year and just gets bigger and bigger and heavier and more expensive. So instead of getting bigger, instead of getting heavier, instead of getting more expensive and throwing gigantic cameras on there, LG created something that I think took a lot more oomph to try and make this, because they're saying, look, we're getting rid of the G series, we're getting rid of the V series, we're going to go back to basics, and we're going to create a phone that works. We're going to create a phone that looks good, and we're going to create a phone that's not going to require you to finance it for 3 years so you can afford it, and you got it right here. And we're going to throw 5G and a 4300 milliamp battery in there. So I really like what they've done with this phone. I've been using it all day, and I wanted to get this video out because today, July 22nd, the phone is coming out on AT&T, and you're going to be looking for videos, and you're going to want some information on it, and you're going to see a lot of different videos out there. They're going to talk about specs, they're going to talk about how LG gave up, how this is not a flagship phone, how the cameras may not be as good as they were on the B series or the G series devices, how it doesn't have a Quad HD display. And all those people are using iPhones, they're using expensive Samsungs, they're using OnePlus devices, they're using stuff that they wouldn't ever consider one of these in the first place. And by no means am I the LG champion, am I a huge LG fan. I like stuff that works, I like stuff that looks good, and I like stuff that doesn't cost more than it should be worth. And this right here is one heck of a bang for the buck at $599. And if that's not enough for you, you've also got the dual screen right here. Dual screen, you can pop it in there, and then you can have some true revolutionary technology, because not are you just using one phone with one screen, you've got one phone with two screens, and they work independently of each other. So you can run your Twitter on one side, your Instagram on the other. It is really, really neat. So that's all I've got. I just wanted to talk about this and give it a little bit of a showcase, give it the moment that a lot of other people are not going to get, because, I mean, let's face it, it came out the day that the OnePlus Nord came out. So I've seen a million different people interested in the Nord, and I've seen like 8 people talking about the Velvet, and I've been looking forward to this phone since like March, April timeframe. So no more rumors, no more wondering about release dates. The LG Velvet is here, and it'll be available on other carriers in the United States later on this summer. So that's all I've got. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've liked something a little bit different, maybe slightly more informative, and not just talking about the numbers when it comes to phones. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates when new videos come out. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.